Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark. And today I'm here to clarify the misconceptions and misunderstandings around the Smart Sell feature. I was actually in a show the other day and the seller kind of seemed to misunderstand what the Smart Sell feature was, how it worked, and I know I've made a video on basically how it works and like what it's all about and how to use it, but I see a lot of misconceptions out there, so I figured I'd make a video that kind of touches on how it works again, because I think there's a lot of people that don't understand, and maybe clarify some questions that people have, because a lot of people are under the wrong impression on how this feature works, and I actually do think it's a great feature. In fact, just today I had a sale from this feature, and so I think if you utilize it correctly, it's actually really beneficial and could help you just get more sales, but people are afraid to use it because they don't understand how to properly use it. So hopefully this video is helpful for you, and like I said, if you want to check out that first video where I touch on all the details, how it works, all that, you could watch that at the end of this video. But let's get right into this video and cover these misconceptions that I see people talking about. Okay, so if you have been kind of living under a rock because they put this out maybe a month or two ago at this point, there's a feature called Smart Sell, which basically is enabled upon listing a new item, or you can edit it upon listing an old item as well. You could turn it on, and you have to toggle it on. Now, it is on by default, so you have to note that whenever you make a new listing. For any brand new listings that you will create, it will automatically be toggled on, but for your old listings that were created prior to this being in existence, it will automatically be off, and then you could turn it on. So keep that in mind, because again, people think that like, oh, it's automatically on, I can't turn it off, I don't want it. You can turn it off. All you have to do is toggle it off or toggle it on. And basically, it'll auto-generate a specific price. So for example, if you're listing like a $20 item, it might generate a price of maybe 12 or 10 as the minimum price that you are willing to accept to get for that item, for it to then auto accept that. And again, it auto generates a specific price, just like it's auto generated on when you make a new listing. So all you have to do is type in whatever number you want. So say you don't want 10 or 12, maybe you want 15, or maybe you want 18. All you do is erase the 12 or the 10 and put your own number in, whatever you want. It's basically just pre-populating it, kind of like it'll do with like a listing price. It'll give you a suggested listing price, and you don't have to follow it, and most of the time I don't. In fact, I don't think I ever did follow it, but basically it's just giving you an option of something that you can pick. And so a lot of people, like I've seen, they're like, oh, I just listed a $100 bag and it wanted me to do the minimum price at 40, and I thought that was like a ripoff. It's not telling you to set your minimum price to 40. You have to go in and decide what you want your minimum price to be, and you have to change it. If you don't want it to be 40, then change it to whatever price you want. Or if you don't want it on, then you could toggle it off completely. But I think, I've seen people like spreading lies about how it works, and they're like, well, it was automatically accepting an offer at 40 when I didn't want it to. If you don't change it and it's toggled on, and then you don't change the number that it's set to, it's going to automatically set to that price that you had then agreed to set it to. And I think it's also important to know that people think that like they can't turn it off at any point. Like say you decide to turn it on at one point, but then you don't want it on anymore. People think that you can't ever turn it off, and they're like, well, it's just working automatically for me. I didn't even want it on. Because it's on automatically, and you have to go and turn it off. And if you turn it off, it will not activate on those listings, and it will not auto accept any offers. I've been using this feature for, like I said, about 1 to 2 months now at this point, and I've had it kind of counter back and forth with someone until it got to like a middle ground, or until they got to my lowest price that I had entered in, and then they were willing to accept. But I've never had it accept an offer that, one, was lower than I had wanted it to be, or two, accept an offer on something that I didn't actually set the auto Smart Sell on for that listing. So it doesn't just work on any listing. It only works on the listings that you want it to, and only the ones that you actually applied it to. And again, I see a lot of people don't understand that properly. They think it's just going to go to all their listings. They don't like it. You don't have to turn it on for any listings if you don't want. You can turn it on for all your listings, which I do, because the problem that I think people are not understanding is this is going to help you generate sales. It's going to basically do that negotiating back and forth that you don't want to have to do. So it'll kind of do it for you, and you'll actually see that it auto works behind the scenes. But I find that it's actually really helpful because I don't want to have to go back and forth with people all day, and this will auto do it for me until we get to that middle ground. And sometimes like I may miss an offer if I'm not around right away, and I'll miss somebody's good offer. But if I set the minimum price that I want and say it's a $20 item and I want minimum of 15, if they sent me an offer of 15, it'll auto accept, so I'm gonna get that sale right away, versus maybe waiting and then they have the chance to cancel or something like that. So again, it's just helping you get a sale faster. Just like using a VA to send out automatic offers, you're catching someone as fast as you can, and it kind of works like instantly. It's not like a slow thing. It catches it right away when the offer is sent, and then it'll auto accept or counter based on, what makes the most sense. So like I said, I think this is actually a really good feature, and I think people just don't understand how it properly works. But I think it's gonna help you get more sales. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't you do it if you could completely customize it to be exactly what you want? If you don't understand how it works and then you're complaining about it, well, that makes sense. But I think you need to actually understand how it works before then you start complaining, saying like, oh, I don't want it to accept a $40 offer on a $100 item. You set it to whatever you want, and then it will only accept what you had told it to. So if you said, I don't want to go any lower than 70, it'll automatically counter up until that 70 price point. And if you don't even want to go as low as 70 and you want to go as low as 80, then set it as 80 and it won't go any lower than 80. So it's completely customizable. It's completely to what you want it to be. So you can make sure that you set your minimum price point that you want to get for the item, and you'll make sure that you actually get that, and nothing will be accepted below that. Another thing that I think is important to touch on of why this is so helpful to do is if you are consigning for people. So like I consign for people outside of Posh, and I know other people that do it as well. If your potential consigner wants a specific item to be at a certain price point or to get a certain price point for their items before you accept, basically all you have to do is set their minimum price to the listing, like for the smart sell, and then basically any offer that is below that, it'll auto generate a counter offer towards the minimum price that you had set it for. But this way you don't have to think about what that minimum price is, because you'll know that it's set for that item, so you know that they're going to get at the bare minimum whatever they ask for. So you don't have to worry about fighting them or going down on an item or realizing that you went too low. It's going to automatically be set, and then you have peace of mind and they have peace of mind that they're going to get their money's worth. So it's actually really helpful, and like I said, I've been using it. I've made a couple sales from it, and it's really just helped get more sales and get more eyes on my closet. And if it's going to help you get more sales, there's really no reason why you shouldn't use it. Just set whatever price you want, and there's nothing negative about that. So hopefully this covers any misconceptions or confusion out there. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people that kind of are spreading false information about this and don't understand how it actually works. So hopefully this helps you understand a little bit better. And if you want to see the first video that I did on this, where I basically covered how to, all the things on how to use it, if it's worth it, which, I mean, if you understood this video, then you probably think I do think it's worth it. But if you want to see that video where that covers all the basics and, everything that you need to know about it, you can click right here. And if you want to see another video on some features that you should be using on Poshmark to have the most success on the platform, you could click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.